You'd think if I filmed at midnight, which I usually do, there would be less people talking or cars loudly rolling down the streets or whatever, but that's not the case. It's just loud 24/7 around here. Hello, my name is Elise, and somehow it is already almost the end of 2020. I think it's been definitely a stressful, difficult year, but regarding booktube, I've had fun, but that's probably the only part of this year that's been fun. But otherwise, it's been not the best year, but that's okay. We're just talking about books in this video. Anyway, I'm going to be talking about some goals I have for booktube and reading in general for the new year, 2021. I think they're somewhat realistic. I think mostly realistic. I'm gonna actually try to stick to them, but they're all based off of my experiences of joining booktube this year and actually really getting into reading this year. I mean, I've always been into reading, but like actually really reading a lot this year. So yeah, that's gonna be what I talk about, and hopefully I actually stick to these goals. So the first goal is about my Goodreads challenge goal thingy. I usually set my Goodreads goal to not a lot of books because I just don't have the time to read a lot anymore. The beginning of this year, I actually set my goal to 15 books. I ended up reading over 160, or almost 160. I'm sure by the end of the year it'll be over 160, which is way more than I usually read, probably in the time span of many years, so I'm very impressed with myself. I obviously changed my Goodreads goal of 15 books, and I actually made it 100 books, and I still made that goal. So I think I'm going to make my Goodreads goal for 2021 100 books. Clearly I passed that this year, but also we had the whole pandemic thing going on, so that gave me lots of extra time. Yes, the pandemic will still be a thing in 2021, but we've definitely, figured things out with school, so I don't have that extra little time to just do whatever. So yeah, I think 100 books sounds reasonable if I actually stay on track with the way I've been reading this year. Otherwise, if I still read 15 books next year like I usually do, whatever. 15, 100, it's still reading. My next goal is regarding Netgalley. I have way too many arcs right now. I actually just had to make an entire spreadsheet because I'm so behind on reading my arcs because I like to be request happy every time I log on to that site and just request everything and then regret it. Right now I have over 20 arcs I need to read, which is a lot, especially because I have so many physical books I want to read right now. So yeah, there's a lot on the TBR right now, but my goal is to read all my arcs, or at least read a lot of them, and then make it my goal to not request any more arcs until I have that recommended 80% ratio. And right now my ratio is definitely not 80%. So first I have to get my ratio up to 80%, and then the goal is to actually keep it there before I start requesting things. Goal number 3 is be better about watching other people's booktube videos. Beginning of booktube, first few months, I was really good at watching everyone's videos. I literally watched every single video in my subscription box and then some, but since the end of the semester, I've really been struggling to watch booktube because I've been so caught up in school. And it's not that I've had no free time, but sometimes I just spend my free time doing other things. And it's not like I'm required to watch booktube, but I have a lot of fun watching it, so I just want to be better at actually, checking my subscriptions and watching other people, because I know all of you who make videos put a lot of effort into them and I really like watching them, and I've made a lot of good friends through booktube, so I want to be able to support people and actually see what you're reading and get something from your recommendations. I spend a lot more time on Twitter than booktube, but booktube is the reason why I made Twitter in the first place, so I would like to spend more time here rather than just endlessly scrolling through Twitter, which is really getting to be a problem. Another thing I want to work on is actually DNFing books if I don't like them. I have a terrible habit of feeling like I can't put down a book, so I will either tough it out until the bitter end or just kind of think about it and not read anything else but avoid the book, and now all of a sudden I haven't read anything in weeks because of this one book that I don't like. So I think it's time to accept that I'm allowed to not finish books. I've always struggled with that, but I guess 2021 will maybe be the year that I only read things I actually enjoy. This next goal is a goal that I sort of achieved towards the beginning of my little booktube journey, which started in March, and then I kind of fell off the boat, but it's to read more genres than I usually read. Typically, I read young adult, especially contemporary, mostly contemporary realistic fiction. That's pretty much my main genre. I know someone has pointed out that I'm literally displaying books that are not contemporary realistic fiction, but you know, that's typically what I read. But I really want to branch out and read more genres because I'm sure there's something in other genres that I would really love that I'm missing out on just because I keep clinging to things I already know I like. So definitely want to work on trying new things, but like trying new things regarding books. My next goal is to write more reviews, and by this I don't necessarily mean write more of the reviews I might write for a Netgalley arc, which are definitely more fleshed out and detailed and long, and I just don't think that's realistic for me to write that for every book, but I definitely want to work on maybe writing a sentence or two when I finish a book, because I just think it's fun to look back and, you know, just know what I was feeling when I read a book, because I find my old reviews fun to go back to and read because sometimes I forget what I thought of a book, and it's fun to see what my initial reaction was after finishing it. So yeah, I think that would be a somewhat manageable goal, but I do have a tendency to not write anything for books unless it's required, like for Netgalley. But it's okay, we're gonna work on it. This next goal has been a goal of mine for literally years, but I'm going to try to take it seriously this time. It is to finally attack my physical TBR. There are so many books on this shelf I haven't read. Do not even ask me how many are on this shelf that I haven't read, because I don't even want to tell you. It's way more than it should be. And I think this is definitely going to be something I should work on because I am out of space on my bookshelf, and why have an entire bookshelf if I'm never going to read the books? So yeah, I'm going to somehow find a way to balance reading all of the physical books I own and haven't read, and also all those Netgalley arcs that I've still haven't touched yet, but need to. And then with that goal comes my next goal. I'm going to severely limit the amount of physical books I buy next year. I'm going to try to buy next to none. There's a couple 2021 releases in my head that I already know I'd really like to purchase, and I couldn't get like an arc of it or anything, so I will be purchasing them on their release date or around that or whatever. But I think I'm going to make sure I don't buy books unless there's something I really have wanted for a while, or it's something from maybe an author I've read for a long time. Basically, I'm just not gonna buy books because I'm feeling it. I want to make sure I'm spending my money, you know, reasonably, and also paying attention to how many books I have and have not read. And then this last goal is something related to booktube that literally will make no difference to anyone else but me, but I would like to stop filming at midnight like I'm doing right now. I mean, it really doesn't matter if I'm filming at midnight, but I just kind of have an idea in my head, like I want to post a video every week, and then I just kind of put it off, and now all of a sudden it's midnight the night I want to, or I guess the day I want to post the video. So now I'm rushing to film a video and then edit it all at once and put the subtitles on there and make a little thumbnail and just get everything set. And I just feel like that puts more pressure on me than necessary, because this is supposed to be fun and there's no reason I should be doing this like some last minute assignment for school. So yeah, that's my own little personal thing. I would like to actually stick to some kind of schedule and not be here at midnight, you know, making my family stay awake because I'm rambling about books. Yeah. All right, that is it for me. Those are just a few goals I have. I may or may not stick to them. I hope I stick to them. I think they're good goals. I think they're not completely ridiculous. I don't know, let me know if any of your goals are similar to that. But yeah, thank you so much for watching, and goodbye. Filming makes me really aware of things like this haircut. What is this haircut? I'm so bothered. Like, what is this chunk right here? What were they thinking? What is this?